Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Ask Me Monday, episode number 103. I am Vickie Howell, here to hang out with you like I am on every Monday here on Facebook and then later on YouTube to teach you, some things, usually about knitting or crochet. So I'm on a new phone and a new network today, and I feel like things look a little different. So thank you once again for being my guinea pig to see how it all goes. All right, today what we are going to be doing is something kind of different and fun. I think summers are about experimenting when you're not in full-on crafter mode where you have to make those gifts for the holidays. It's a great time to try new things. As always, I love seeing you here. Hi, Karen from the Netherlands. Chris, always here. Deborah, so great to see you guys as always. Now, Michaela, several of you now, Diane, all have top fan stars next to you, which is like a new little badge thing. Don't know how one gets that, but I so appreciate Rhonda, you do too. So appreciate the love and support that you always get. Please let me know where you're watching from. As always, talk to each other on the boards. Use this as your community. And also, as you're posting and talking to each other, please share if you made anything over the weekend. And it doesn't have to be crafts. It can be any way that you were creative. If you've got links, come back later and post them. We love to share inspiration and patterns and tutorials and that kind of thing. So over the weekend, I didn't do a ton of crafting. I worked on a project for I'm on this new influencer team for a cell phone service. And so if you're interested in that, you can follow on Instagram. Actually, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I would love if you do. It's just at Vickie Howell. I try to keep things fun and real pretty over there. So that would be great. Okay. So as you guys are sharing and talking, hi, Esther. Hi, Linda. Hi, Ellen. Why don't I fill you in on the scoop of what we're going to do today? I started and then got sidetracked. So today our focus is going to be a technique called Navajo knitting. So this is actually originally from a spinning technique. It's actually Navajo plying, but as opposed to knitting. And all that means is creating 3 strands where there was one, and then knitting with them. Now, why would you want to do that? Okay, well, there's a couple reasons. One, I don't know about you, but I have tons of lace weight yarns. A lot of the artisanal yarns are really cool, and you want to support spinners and dyers, but maybe you don't have the time or the interest to make something on that small of gauge, but you really want to use it. Well, this would be a great way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Then I'll show you what I mean in a second. Another reason that you'd want to do it is if you maybe had the right weight, you needed a worsted weight and 2 colors. Like let's say a chunky weight and 2 colors that you wanted to stripe together. Say these 2, ochre and light pink are my jam right now. Well, these are obviously different weights. So you could wind this into 3 different balls and get about the same weight, but why add a step or 2, as it were, when you can just do it all at once? So if you wanted to create a chunky weight to go with, you have these both in your stash and you want them to work together without one of them being really open weave and the other not, this is another great time to do this technique. Now, traditionally, this technique is used to, like I said, convert super thin, fingering, lace, sock, lighter weight yarns into thicker yarns. However, I'm also going to share what it looks like when you go way big with it, just to have fun to create sort of like a ginormous yarn. And then we will also cover knitting with it, obviously, and then how to cast on using the Navajo knitting method. So I think that I'm going to flip over the camera, even though it can be a little bit big, and we'll go from there. I'm just going to show you what I mean, and then we will talk about knitting it. Essentially, if you know how to finger crochet, and this is absolutely something that you could do with the kids, you know how to Navajo ply. So I'm going to show you how to apply the technique to your regular knitting. Okay, I'm going to flip around the camera now. Keep talking. All right. I think that I'm going to try and put the camera up a little bit higher today. see how that works. Allegedly. Okay, so to create one strand of yarn that's thicker without having to wind 3 separate balls, all you'll do, I don't love this angle. Let me see if I can do it this way, if this is going to be easier for you to see. You're going to make a slip knot, just as you would for any knit or crochet project. Not like that. That was not a slip knot. Okay, from here, and you would just do this with your dominant hand. I'm right-handed, so from here, I just pinch that knot this first time so it doesn't come on undone. You're going to take your pincher fingers, or you can take all, 3 fingers if you want, and pull a loop through. Now you can see now that there are 3 strands. 1, 2, 3. That's what we want to work with. So then we're just going to continue. We have this other loop, pull it through. Slide up, pull it through. Now, it does not matter how big or small these loops are. What would matter is if it bothered you to have the little, you can see like there's obviously a little bit of a bump from where the 2 loops connect. I like that. I think it adds more texture, but if you were less into it, let me move my yarn over here. You would just make a longer, you could just make a longer loop. So I'm going in, and now I'm making these longer loops. I'm just using my whole hand. You do you, whatever makes you happy. Grab that strand, pull it through, grab that strand. Okay, so that's going to give you really nice long lengths. But like I said before, you could do it really short if you want. You could do little lengths that are no more than, a couple inches. Okay, so as soon as you get enough for you to cast on with, you're going to take your needles, and if you're trying to get a gauge, you'll definitely have to swatch, but you're going to want to go up several needle sizes from what the yarn label talks about or mentions, because we're now working on 3 strands instead of 1. So this was originally sort of a shawl weight. It's a little bit heavier than a lace weight. And I'm going to guess that this is going to be more of an Aran weight once I get it cast on. So the cast on method does not matter at all. So however you like to cast on, or if your project requires a certain cast on, let me move this down a little, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to cast on until you're ready to knit. Okay, so I have way long of a tail there, but no biggie. Then when you knit, and it doesn't matter if you're a thrower or a picker, you're going to just knit those 3 strands. You can see 1, 2, 3, knit it as if it were 1. In whatever stitch pattern you want to work with. Now, you might be thinking, well, how do you know how many loops to make? How long to strand it? What if you run out in the middle of a row? Well, my friends, I will tell you. It is super simple. Okay, so let me just finish this row. Hi, Ava. Nice to see you. Okay, so you would just continue, and you can see that you've got this really thick piece. All right, so let's say that you've been working on a piece like this one. And I'm working with Freya hand-painted yarns right now. I still have some stuff left over from the knit show, so it worked perfectly for this. This particular yarn that I'm using now is her lace weight. And so you can see how really fine it is. And I've had it for a year, and I haven't done anything with it because I tend not to work with the fine yarns as much. And so this is a great way to do it. So for this particular piece, I worked in seed stitch. You can see that it has also been Navajo applied. But we are to a place where you see that my plying has I'm in the middle of the row. Well, not quite. I'm a third of the way into the row, and I'm about to run out of plies. So all I need to do is when I get down to, that last loop or so, you just continue with the plying, or really what it is chaining. So I'm just going to create more. I've got my loop. That's going to be confusing because my tail is caught up in that. Let me move that for you. Okay, so then you're just going to keep chaining. And I'm doing nice long plies right now. You don't have to do that. And then you would continue. When it looks like you've got enough, at least to get you a little way, you just keep on going. So this way there's no guesswork to it. Hi, Jen. So nice to see you. And work in any stitch pattern using this ply method without having to plan ahead or pre-wind or ply or whatever, prepare for an entire project. All right, so that is, you can see, oh, I only have one stitch to go. That is really not enough plying for that. So I need to make sure to, I'm going to make a couple more. I just take the loop and I pluck the strand between it. Now I easily have enough to knit that last stitch. And now I've got this lovely piece that is a nice, I would say worsted weight, but made with lace weight. The other cool thing is that often lace weight yarns like this have a gajillion miles of yardage. So if you're not planning on making a huge shawl, if you're like me and you prefer quicker projects and accessories, you're still going to have plenty of yardage, even triple stranding. 1/3 of the yardage is going to be fine. Okay, so that's what it is if you're turning a lace weight into a worsted weight. But just for fun, because I like to go big. Oh, I also have not mentioned, I have neglected to mention Knitter's Pride and Knit Pro, who are sponsors of this episode, and they're gorgeous Royale needles. I have a set from them, and I can show you more later. They come, well, this is actually another one of their sets. They come in all beautiful, shiny colors, different color for each size. And they also have the metal tip, which I love, which makes it easy to work with lace yarn, regardless of whether or not you're using the Navajo ply method or not. Okay, so of course, I love to go big whenever I can. So I wanted to try it with this big Mama Jamma. Okay, so right here you can see this is already a thick yarn. It's very chunky weight yarn. This is also Freya. It's in the same colorway. So what I thought it would be fun to give it a try to see what it was like, and then work on, these are Knitter's Pride, they're jumbo birch needles. These are size 50 needles. So this would be really cool if you wanted to, right now, there's a lot of wall hangings on trend, and you could knit a huge wall hanging or a super scarf for later when it gets cold again. Be super fun. So it's the exact same technique, and you can see here I've already triple plied it, and just to show you, just for fun, I'll just show you exactly that it's exactly the same. You're just going to not get it caught up in your other swatch. Goal 1, and then just create these plies. And that makes this a huge, chunky, great yarn that you could even arm knit with if you wanted to go that route, if you didn't want to use the big 50 needles. But you could make something that had sort of like evoked a macrame feel to it. And like I said, wall hangings, baskets, anything that you would need a little bit of or a lot of girth and body. So that's really all there is to it. Super easy and fun. All right, I'm going to flip around again. Alrighty. So super fun technique. Like I said, if you there are so many gorgeous hand-dyed yarns out right there, and you tend to be able to get more mileage, more yardage, and more selection if you're open to the lace weight yarns. But if lace is not your gig, this is a way to sort of meet in the middle, if you were. For example, this month's Yarn Yay yarn is this gorgeous Jilly with Cashmere by Dream in Color, and it is normally, their recommended needle size is 0s to 2. Now, I'm not going to do that, if we're being honest about things. And the project that I designed with this yarn, I did not. I just went up a needle size. But this is another great candidate for Navajo knitting if you wanted to get something that was truly, more of like an Aran weight, somewhere between a waisted and a chunky. So really cool, lots of opportunities. If you wanted to get the kids involved, even though you do not need to start ahead of time and pre-wind, you could just have them make these chains for you. So this was this yarn. This is a single ply, as I showed you before. And I just sat while watching, I think I was watching a W. Kamau Bell comedy show on Netflix, and I just pre-strung it for no other reason than I just wanted to see what it looked like, and also I thought it would be a cool way, especially since this is summertime. I don't know about you, but I've got kids home where you could have them participate and make you some special Navajo plied yarn on your own. All right, I think that's it for now. Let me see if there's any questions. Please check out all of the gorgeous needles by Knitter's Pride, Knit Pro, depending on where you are. Like I said, I don't normally use straights, but these are by far my favorite straights to work with because they're so beautiful, shiny, have the metal tip, but they're still wood. I love working with wood, but metal really is amazing to work with, especially if you're using finer weight yarns. So if you enjoyed this and you know somebody that might also enjoy it, please share. It really helps me be seen and the series to continue when you share. Also, don't forget to check VickieHowell.com for sort of more of a written tutorial, and also all of the tutorials from Ask Me Mondays past. If you'd like to watch Ask Me Mondays, this is number 103, so there are a ton. Please just go to my Facebook page, it's just Vickie Howell, and click on videos, and you'll see the playlist. If you're on YouTube, you can also look for the Ask Me Monday playlist. On Facebook, please make sure that you follow me and click the little notification bell so that you know when I go live. On YouTube, click to subscribe, please, so that you know when these go up after we go live. We are here most Mondays at noon Central Time. Thanks again to Knitter's Pride and Knit Pro for supporting this episode, and to all of you for starting your week with me. I really appreciate it. Please, if you get a chance, follow me on Instagram. It's just at Vickie Howell. I am going to be doing some fun stuff up there coming up, so I would love to have you there. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy your summer. Stay in, stay cool, do some knitting. It's a hot one out there. Breathe in, craft out. Bye.